Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Hope everyone's all right. Everybody's doing real well. And everybody's had a great weekend. A few people still trying to connect, so I'll give them a second to do so. All right. All right. A few people still trying to connect, but we can go ahead and get rolling. So last class, which was Monday, because I was out of town on Wednesday, we covered, should have been chapter 8, 8182. Yep, because we did pulled out the sheet. All right. So anybody have any questions or anything? Anybody trying to think get stuck? What is this?
I have a question, but I had emailed you. I'll just save it for the end.
All right. You sure?
Yeah, I'll save it for the end. It's a question from the what was it? The test review.
Okay. Which one? Well, like
5 and
test
6.
5 and 6. Okay.
Chapter 5 and 6. Yeah.
Okay. Not a problem. So let's
Okay.
see. Today we're looking at, so 9.1. Let's see. Hold on. First of all, let's talk about where we are in the class. So we've done chapters 1 through 8. You should have 4 tests that you guys have available to you. Chapters 1, not chapters 1. Well, I can start there. Chapter 1 and 2 is test 1, 3, 4, test 2, and then 5, 6, test 3, 7, 8 is test 4. And all of those you do as soon as possible, right? But you have until August 8th to get them submitted into my math lab. So now we're gonna have to include 10.1, 10.2 as a part of our new material. After we cover 10.1, 10.2, we are basically prepping for our final exam. Now remember, I let you said that you can take all of your other tests, at your leisure. Don't forget to send me any type of scratch work that came along with those tests. But then your final exam is what is going to be proctored. I will shoot you an email out, giving you the details that I'm saying to you guys verbally. But on final exam day, let's see, that is the week before the 8th. So we got Monday, which is the 2nd, and then the 4th is Wednesday. So let's look at, let me go to the notes. Is it in there? Yeah. Okay. So we're looking at our final exam to be on August 4th. That's Wednesday. So that'd be Wednesday. So that will be proctored. Now, what's going to happen is after we take that exam, what our class period is 1 to 3. So you have 2 hours, to, knock that out. You can create a note sheet if you like. I would suggest that you, make sure everything is aligned up properly. You have stuff neat so that you can, go through your stuff, not be flipping all throughout all of your notes. So I'm telling you, I'm giving you the opportunity to use your notes on this final exam. But you have to make sure that when you do come, you enable your cameras. And like I said, I will shoot you an email with this stuff, with the details of this final exam process. But you're going to enable your cameras. You're going to bring ID and show it to the camera. What else? What else? What else? I said you can use notes.
Is your final 25 questions also?
I don't remember. I have to go and look at it. I made it. Did I make it last semester? Either last semester, or semester for last. I have to go take a look at it. But it is made in such a way that you know you're able to finish it within the amount of time. I think it's made for an hour and a half. You know, if you had an hour and a half available to you, so you guys have 2 hours.
You could make it 10 questions, you know.
Well, you
That's
know,
what-
I could do that.
You could, yeah.
Yeah, but the only thing about that though is that means that if you miss one, then it's a 90. You miss two, it's an 80. You know what I'm saying? Like if I
Oh,
want to give you 10,
oh,
yeah,
okay,
Yeah, he gotta be quiet. He gotta be quiet.
yeah. So I'm strategic. I think it is 25 because I'm thinking I was doing like 4 points a piece. But yeah, so I'm trying to find that happy medium. You know what I mean? Where it's not too many, but at the same time, not so small that it hurts you if you miss one or two. You know what I mean? So yeah. I considered it though. I did think about it. Let's see. You can use your notes. Also, our makeup will be available. But now remember, it's supposed to be a final exam. So really, it's not supposed to be a makeup for your final exam. But I'm gonna provide you with one. Now the highest score you can make on that is a 75. That doesn't mean I'm gonna take 25% off of whatever you make. So in other words, if you score 70, then you get a 70. But if you score 80, then the highest I would accept is a 75. And the reason being is because the process that we're supposed to be emphasizing is this process right here. But if you score less than a C or a less than 75, you will have the opportunity to get a better grade. And I'll give you 2 shots at that if you want. Scoring a 75 on the final exam will not even stop you from getting an A out of the course if you have the requisite grades before that. But you don't want to score too low on your final if you're trying to get an A. So try to give you guys as many opportunities as possible to get the grade you desire out of the course. Now a 0 will hurt you, so don't just not take anything. You know what I mean? Whether it be a test, final, zeros will hurt you. So you do want to get some scores in there. Let's see. I think, oh yeah, that makeup will show up probably around 3:30 that same day. So probably around 3:30. I have to program it into my math lab around 3:30 since our class ends at 3. So around 3:30, the makeup will show up so that you have the opportunity to take it. And then from there, you're talking about from Wednesday to Sunday to get that in, get that makeup in if you want to take the makeup. All right. Any questions on the process? Let me see if there's anything else I'm supposed to tell you guys on this math lab, final exam details. So date, time, told you to log onto Zoom. Of course, when I say enable your cameras, you stay on. You leave your Zoom up, but then you can go into other windows, of course. But make sure you stay on to Zoom, because sometimes I've had people in the past that show the ID, get the password, and they'll dip, and you're like, hold on, what was the purpose of what we just did there? So make sure you stay logged on to Zoom. Oh yeah, it will be password protected, so you will see the final exam as an option before final exam day. But when you click on it, it will ask you for a password, and so you won't get that password until final exam day when you show your ID. Let's see. As soon as you finish, you can go ahead and log off. You don't necessarily have to let me know, but if you do want to say bye and all that stuff, feel free to do so. But yeah, you can go ahead and log off. Makeup 75. Oh, also, if you have legitimate issues or conflicts with test day or anything like that, make sure you, discuss that with me individually. Shoot me an email so we can figure out a way to make sure you're straight coming out of the course. All right. So any questions? Like I said, I'll shoot you guys. I'll probably shoot you today. Let me write myself a note. Shoot you an email with all the details with it, and everything like that. Okay, so email final exam details. I'll do that before the day is out. And so we have, let's see how many days we have. We have this week, next week. So let me write the schedule. So today is the 19th, the 19th, 21st, 26th, 28th, August 2nd. All right, so that's what we're looking at right now. 19th is today. Got a 21st, 22nd, 28th, and the 2nd to cover 10-1, 10-2, and do whatever reviewing we're going to do as well before we get here. So you guys got a nice little cushion there to make sure we're good for this final exam. Once again, as always, you know, you don't have to do any reviews that I've posted, but I would suggest that you at least take a look at them, especially going into this final. I believe I put a final exam review up. Let me get there. I think that's already posted. Come on, come on. Yep, final exam review is already posted. Yep. Okay, since I'm in here, let's see how many questions I put up. Okay, I have 35 in there, but that's all of them don't call for calculation. Once again, you know, I tried to give you a few bunnies in there, like one is about pie charts. You know what I mean? So everything in there don't call for calculation. But like one of them is a 54-second question. You know, just different ones in there. Try not to and don't forget, make sure you have the things lined up, like whether it be easycalculation.com, you know, so that you'll be able to find mean, mode of median, standard deviation. So some of the stuff that this thing is calling for calculation, you guys aren't calculating anything. You're typing data values in and hitting enter. So don't forget that element of it, because if you're trying to do some of the stuff by hand, you will, you almost say you will, you know, it will be longer, you know, it will be a longer test for you than necessary. So make sure whatever you're using, whether it's your app, whether it's easycalculation.com, whatever website you're using to be able to find your different things, like that's where the test review comes into play and make sure that really comes into handy, because it lets you know, okay, what stuff do I need to have lined up to be successful for this final exam. So you do want to make sure that that is in place, because certain things I put in there doesn't call for you to calculate, but it does call for you to have your app, website, or calculator ready to calculate so you can move on to the next problem. All right. So questions on anything I've said up to this point. Make sure we're good. Everybody straight. Okay. So with 35 questions, that does leave room for you to miss a few. Let me see where my stuff at. Probably should be only around 3 problems long. 100 divided by 35. So about, yeah, like 2.8 as far as how much they're worth a piece. So it leaves room, a lot of room for you guys to, you know, be able to get a decent grade, even if you miss a few. So yeah. All right. So any problems, questions, or concerns before we go along? All right. So I know someone mentioned a question about chapter 5 and 6. What test review from 5 and 6? You had a question on it. We can go ahead and address that before I do anything else, if you don't mind.
Okay, yeah, it was question 25.
On that test review, let me get there.
Yes.
Test review. When did you email me on that? Thought you said you sent me an email.
Yes, and you replied to it yesterday. I just didn't get a chance to email back.
Okay, okay, cool. So yeah, we did. Now, do you have a website that calculates this for you?
Yeah, I did. I was
Mhm.
stuck on this question a while, but
Mhm.
I just didn't know how to plug in the numbers.
Okay, so it's binomial probability distribution. So what I would do, this is a binomial probability distribution. So I would, yeah, if I can spell binomial probability. Let me see. So I would use this one right here. StatTrek is pretty good on that. So binomial probability calculator is what I would look up for this. Now, let me come off it a little bit though, because it's making my stuff slow. All right, so let's go back to the problem. So that's what I'm going to use in order to calculate this. So it says, suppose the probability that a passenger will miss a flight. Oh, sorry about that. Is 0.0988. So we're gonna miss the flight. Probability is 0.0988. Airlines do not like flights with empty seats, but it is also desirable to have overbooked flights, which passengers must be bumped from the flight. So suppose that an airplane seat capacity is 52 passengers. And would you bump from the flight? Okay, so A says if 54 tickets are sold, what's the probability that 53 or 54 passengers show up for the flight resulting in overbooked flight? All right, so let's go to the notes. So make sure that we're clear. All right, so it says the probability of missing the flight, 0.0988. Probability, well, I'll just go with the given. Capacity is 52 seats. All right. So now one thing we have to make sure we're clear on is that if we're looking at the probability of missing the flight, because this binomial probability distribution, binomial means, I said binomial, I think I said, anyway, binomial means that there's only two options, success or failure. And in this case, miss or make the flight. So if missing the flight is 0.0988, that means the probability of making the flight is going to be 1 minus that. So that's going to be key to us moving forward. They kind of gave you the opposite of what actually you needed. So 1 minus 0.0988 is going to be 0.9012. So that's the probability of making the flight. All right, so A asked us if 54 tickets are sold. Right. So you got 54 tickets are sold. What is the probability that 53 or 54 passengers shows up? So in the probability of 53 or 54. In other words, that means two people gonna have to be bumped or considered overbooked. All right, so let's go back to that calculator. So probability of success on a single trial. So for us, it was making the flight, that's 0.9012. All right, so number of trials should be 54 because we sold 54 seats. I mean, yeah, so 54 seats. Number of successes, let's go 52. Nah, let me see, 52. I might have a reverse. Let me check this real quick and hit calculate. So probability of being greater than 91, 23. Let me see if that's the answer they want. Might have my things. Why is this not working? Why won't let me put it in? Trying to, oh, that's why I opened up the wrong window. Sorry. Let me go back real quick because I want to be able to check my answers. It wasn't letting me check my answers. Hopefully when I go back in, it'll let me, it'll pull up the same numbers though. Test review. Bear with me, bear with me. I changed my numbers. Okay. All right, now I gotta change my numbers again. I had to pull out of that one, so give me 1 second. So I got 0.0958, 52. One minus 2. All right. Where did it go? So 0.9042. So greater than 99. That was less than. Right. So that's 2 before. Calculate. So we're looking at greater than 52. So that's 0.0292. Yep. All right. So just wanted to confirm before I went ahead. I had to change my numbers because I opened up the wrong window in my math lab. Then I had to open it again. When you reopen it, they give you different numbers. Okay. So, but it's still the same format. So my probability was different, but you know, you do that 1 minus whatever probability it gave you, which was the miss. This is my make right here. And then here, and do want to make sure we all looking at the same window. Okay. And so the number of trials, 54. I sold 54 tickets. Now the number of successes was 52 because there's 52 seats altogether. So we're gonna leave it at 52. And so what's the probability? They asked us, what's the probability of getting 53 and 54 people showing up? So we're letting X be 52. And then we're talking about greater than that 52. So that's this probability right here. So greater than 52 would be 53 and 54. And that's this probability right here. All right. So now if I want to do greater than, say again?
Oh, I was saying, okay, because I was using this website too yesterday, but how did you get the 0.9042?
Okay, so whatever they give you in this problem anyway, it's always about what they say in the problem, of course. So now in this problem I had, and like I said, I had to change my numbers because I had to go in out of my math lab and come back into this one. So it gave me 0.0958. So you do 1 minus that, because see, that's the probability that a passenger will miss a flight. This is asking you, look at A, what's the probability that everybody show up? In other words, everybody make the flight. So you have to do 1 minus that 0.0958, which is what I put into the stat tray. All right, that makes
Okay.
sense?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Thank
Okay,
you.
okay. So you think you're good with the rest of it then, or?
Yeah, figure it out.
Well, I mean, we can talk about it. I mean, I didn't know if that was your
Yeah.
only issue or whatever. Because I know if you got that wrong, then of course the rest of it is wrong. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
so let's see.
I
Suppose that.
just,
Mhm.
I took the test already, but I just got it wrong on a test, but
Gotcha.
I'll
Gotcha.
take.
Was the last part you said?
Oh no, I said I'll listen to the rest of it.
Okay. So here it says, suppose that 58 tickets are sold. What is the probability that a passenger will have to be bumped? So this time 58. So let's go back here. So let's do 58 and hit calculate. So you're talking about being bumped. So we're talking about greater than 52. So it should be this value right here. Greater than 52, 51.45. Let's see if that's it. That's all they want from us. 51.45. Yep, that's all that was. All right, so yeah, so all I did was put 58 there, change that 58 with the 54, and then look at it greater than 52. And because those are the people that's going to be bumped, because we only have 52 seats on the plane. So everything greater than 52 is going to be bumped. So for plane seating capacity of 280 passengers, what is the largest number of tickets that can be sold to keep the probability of passenger being bumped below 1%? So for a plane seating 280 passengers, so 52 would be 280. What's the largest number of tickets that can be sold to keep probability? Okay, so let's see, go back to here. So this time, the number of tickets, let's play with number of successes. Let's make that 280. Wonder what do you get? Yeah, that's so. All right, so now we want to say, okay, how many tickets can we sell in order for that greater than to be less than, it says, let me go back, to stay less than 1%. So if I change that to 1, okay, that don't move any. Let's go to, what stuff do I gotta go, 90? Oh, okay, there we go. That moved the needle. So let's see, greater than, let's see here. Less than 1%, so that's right here, talking about greater than, so that's 2.9%, so we need to go less than 300. 295. Greater than, that's, I don't think it would be that high, but I'll check in a second. 296, 297, 298. 297. So less than 1%. All right, let me see if that works. Yep, so that was it. So all you would do in that case, for that one, you just play with the numbers. You let your number of successes be 280, because that's what, let's go back here. That was the seat capacity. If you look right here, it says 280 passengers. So that's my seating capacity. So go back here. So I let that be 280, and then I just play with this number and get as close to 1%, but do not go over 1%. So if I were to put this at 298, notice it goes to that, when you move the decimal 2 places to the right, that's 1.07%. So 298 would have been too many. So 297 is where it stays under 1%. And so that was the answer.
Okay, thank you so much, Professor.
Not a problem, not a problem. Anybody else have any questions on that before I, close out the screen? Because this is making my stuff move a little slow because of these advertisements on the side. So Everybody good, straight. All right. So let's go back to the notes. So anybody else have anything else? I think what I'll do is, because looking at my math lab, I think people could use this opportunity to make sure we're straight before we get into 10-1. Next class, we'll actually get full-fledged into 10-1 and 10-2. Might knock them all both, might knock out both of them on next class, or if not, we'll just, take these 2 days to do 10-1 and 10-2. But then from there, it'll just be open class for you to ask whatever questions you want to ask and prep for the final exam.
Are we doing 9-1 today?
9-1 is not necessary. I'll cover everything you need to know from out of 9-1 and 10-1. So instead of adding an extra section for no reason, now if somebody want to knock it out for extra credit, then I can do that. I'll just leave it available in your homework if you want to do it. But instead of adding a new lecture, new material, I'm just going to cover everything we need to cover in 10-1 and 10-2.
So 9-1 is extra credit.
Yeah. 9-1 really is just like a prep for, there's certain things in 9-1 that you need for 10-1. But that's why I didn't even do the whole chapter, but just 9-1. But I'll just cover those things in 10-1 to make sure we're good for 10-1. Yep. Anything else? Anybody else? Okay, so take advantage of this time. Make sure you guys are straight going into chapter 10. That's our last chapter. Like I said, there's not going to be a separate test for chapter 10. It's just going to be incorporated as last 2 or 3 questions in the final exam. Might just be 2. Anyway, something like that. But yeah, and we'll go from there. Make sure you try this final exam review out. Look at it. You don't have to do it if you don't want to, but look at it and make sure that you don't have any questions, especially after the 26th, because we have the 28th and August 2nd to ask whatever questions you want to ask about the final exam or anything else, before that. Other than that, you guys have a good one. Be safe. On next class, we'll get into this last chapter. All right. Take care.
Oh, Professor.
Yes, sir.
Oh, could I wait until everyone?
Yeah. Mhm. Yep.
I was just gonna ask if you received my email.
When did you send it?
I sent 2. So I sent one before you sent an email to contact you before Thursday, and I sent one then, and I sent a follow-up yesterday.
So you say, and hold on, I just got off. Let me see. And Reed is your name, right? Taylor Reed.
My
Only reason I
last
ask that
name.
because sometimes people have
No, yeah,
different
gotcha.
names. Okay. So, but let me see. Why didn't I see your name? Okay. Right. I see one from Saturday, and I was just getting caught up today on my Saturday emails.
That's fine. Yep. And I sent
I
a follow-up
think,
yesterday just to make sure you received it.
yeah, I must have missed it previously,
That's
but yeah,
okay.
yep, I got you though.
Perfect. I just wanted to make sure you got it.
All right, not a problem. Thank you for letting me know.
Thank you.
All right, take care.
You as well.
Anybody else before I get with Mr. Hurley? Everybody good? All right, let's see. All right, Mr. Hurley, what you got?
Okay. I had took the test, chapters 3 and 4.
Mm-hmm.
I had got a 57 on it, and I was working on it for about 4 hours, unfortunately. But I had took a pictures of the ones I got wrong, and I got correct. Is there a way we could try to go over to some of the ones some of the ones I got wrong?
Yeah, which ones are you looking at? Which one are you talking about?
It was I got a picture right here.
And you said chapter 3, 4?
Yes.
Okay.
So hold on. I'm looking for it right now.
Yeah. You can just give me the number and I'll pull it up on my end.
Okay, so it was 13.
13. Let's see. Compute the Z-score.
Yes.
Okay.
And it was saying, so compute the Z-score.
How many data presents? Now, how did you go about doing so? I see that they give you a chart with some data values on it. So how did you find the Z-score to, like, for A?
I was so for a couple of them, I
Mhm.
was kind of confused. And even before, when I was doing the homework, I was still confused about it.
Mhm.
I didn't exactly know how to.
Okay. So now, okay, that's cool. So now when you want to find your Z-score, you have your data value. They actually give that to you in the question. They say find a Z-score for whatever your data value is. Now, you also need the mean and the standard deviation.
Right.
So now, and I probably could have just wrote it like this: data value minus the mean divided by the standard deviation. So you need these two pieces. Now they give you a chart or table with some values in it. So either you're going to do this by hand or you need to use a website to calculate the mean and standard deviation for you.
Yeah, I think what was really messing me up was that I didn't know how exactly to do it by hand, so it was making it even worse.
Mm-hmm.
And with me overthinking it, I just got totally confused about it.
Right.
I
Now
didn't
that,
know.
mhm.
Mhm.
No, go ahead, go ahead.
I didn't know exactly if easy calculation would help with that. I
Oh, yeah.
didn't.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, so now calculating the mean isn't that big a deal, but doing that on your own, because that's, just the average. But if you do mean easy calculation,
mhm.
I didn't mean to write mean deviation, just mean. Let's see, easycalculation.com. So all you would do is type in your data values right here,
Right.
separated by a comma, and it'll give you the mean. So it got the mean, median, mode, range. Then also, if you were to do the same thing for standard deviation, easy calculation.
Oh yeah, I was using standard deviation.
Okay, okay.
Calculate.
Yeah. So yeah, once you get that, and see, once you made your list, you could have cut, copied, and paste right here as well. And see, that's what, especially for the finals, and that's what you want to have set up. All of the websites you're going to use to be able to calculate whichever, saying thing that may come up, so that you're not trying to type up stuff and find stuff. Just have everything lined up, so you can
Right.
just go clicking your tabs, typing in, cutting and pasting accordingly. So going back to, where is it? There we go. So going back here, corresponding Z-score is, I don't think I can. When can they make it so? Opening clipboard. Oh, that might work.
Oh, you were able to copy and
Mm-hmm.
install. Yeah, see, I did not know you could do all that.
Well, yeah, yeah, you just gotta play with this stuff, man. So you separated. Just trying to try one more time. Open clipboard, copy. Let's see if it'll let me. I just paste. I just did it like that. I don't know if it'll do it that way. Yeah, so I would have to like delete and put a comma in between each one of them.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I would probably just open this up in Word and then just do that.
Okay.
Do that same thing. If I was going to do it this way, you know what I'm saying, just to copy the list.
Right.
So in other words, oh, hit the wrong button. So do it like that, and then, and see, like you said, they want to separate it by a comma. So I'll comma, delete the space, comma, you know what I'm saying? Just make it one list, separated by a comma. And then go ahead and cut and paste this and put it in there versus trying to type all the things up myself. Yep.
Yeah, I was doing it by hand, but after
Yeah.
a while I got frustrated and I
Yeah,
got
man.
about it.
Yeah, that's why you got to use this technology to your benefit. Figure it
Right.
out somehow. You know what I mean?
Right. And I was going back to a couple of them and I
Mhm.
said I could have used easy calculation the whole time. So
Yeah.
that for some of them, I didn't know what to do.
Yeah. So let's try it now. Put that in there like that. Now calculate. See, there we go. And see, now that I cut and pasted, when I cut, we just copied it. I can also do that with for the standard. Hold on, was this standard deviation? Yeah, this is for the standard deviation. Oh, see, this one give me the mean and standard deviation. I don't have to go to the other page. The mean is right here.
Right.
And so let's go with, what's 39, 38. Okay, let's go here. Go back to the notes. So my data value was 40.2. My z-score, I'll probably go out 3 decimal places. 38.9, was it 916? 917 over standard deviation of 3.393. Hold on, it's a population. Okay, sample of course. Always make sure you pay attention to whether, more than likely they want to do sample. We always
No.
want to make sure. So 3.466. All right, so let me throw that in the calculator, make sure we don't have no issue. 38.917 minus 3.466 negative. But always remember that my math, not my math, z-scores you round to 2 decimal places.
Okay.
So the z-score corresponding to the individual was negative 2.18. Indicates that the data value is 2.18 standard deviations, because that's what the 2.18 stands for, is the number of standard deviations. Below, because it's negative, the mean is always the mean.
Yeah.
All right, what I messed up on? How many 2 decimal places that's needed? 40.2. Unless, let me check my numbers again. 3.466, 38.9. Unless, let me see if I go 1 decimal place. 40.2 minus 38.9 divided by, oh shoot, 40.2 minus 38.9 divided by 3.5. Hold on, what happened? Oh, it wasn't supposed to be negative at all. How did I get that?
I was
Uh,
looking at it too and I said, I
Oh
don't
man,
know.
you can't come. Nah, man, you can't come afterwards. No,
Nah,
no,
no,
no.
I really was. I was confused because I said, wait a minute. I was looking and I didn't want to say anything because you're the professor. I said, he's right. So I'm not going to question anything.
No, man. If I threw it in there wrong, I threw it in there wrong. I don't know what happened. Because I didn't even look at it, because like there's no way that should have been negative just off the rip. But I wasn't looking at it, you know what I mean? I was just going off the number I got. So yeah, so 0.37. So now that should be it. Now I gotta go back. So it's gonna be positive 3.7. And that means this should be positive 3.7. And that means it's gonna be above the mean. All right, there we go. I don't know what I typed in to get that negative 2.18.
Okay.
All right.
This is where I was really getting
Now,
mixed.
now, truth be told, I actually showed y'all, how to do this by hand, but I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure if we go to easycalculation.com,
Yeah, see, I kept trying to do everything by hand,
uh-huh.
and I was messing up while doing it. So yeah.
So let's see. I've never done quartiles through easycalculation.com. So let's see. There you go right there. So let's type in these. I mean, like once again, that cut and paste thing, all I'm doing is cutting and paste, you know what I mean?
Right.
Separated by comma. What am I missing? Please enter all the values separated by comma. Okay, so that's separated by comma, 4.2. What's missing? They all already separated by comma. Okay, let's do this. Let's see something. Oh, must be something weird going on.
Wow, I did not know you could use that.
Yeah, something's, unless it's not recognizing these data values. Okay, let me do this. Yeah. And we might just have to use another website. But if it does not want these decimals, I'm gonna do that. Yeah, it must be those decimals. For some reason, they might have a glitch in this program. And these decimals, they're not filling the decimals. So all we'll do is just go to another one.
Okay.
And that's why you gotta run these tests on this stuff before the test, you know what I mean? To see what legitimately works and what doesn't.
Right.
Hold on, let's see. Oh, that one worked. Then what did I just, hold on now. What was it that I clicked on? Oh, that's why. So you got to be careful. I clicked on quartile deviation calculator. I didn't need that. I just need quartile calculator.
Oh.
So it worked. I was just on the wrong thing. So quartile calculator. There you go. Quartile 1, 2, and 3.
Wow.
And so we got 3685. Type, that's the decimal. So they just want the whole thing. So 36.85. That works. Quartile 2, 38.55. That works. And so we're doing all of it through easycalculation.com. And so all three of those work. And then here, next one. This thing moves slow because all these different ads.
Yeah, I don't even think. Oh, you're.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So there we go. And then it says compute the interquartile range. So it's always the middle 50% of your data. So it's going to be B, but that's just subtracting Q3 and Q1. So Q3 is 41 minus Q1, which is 36.85. So that's going to be 4. What? That in there. Come on. There we go. 4.15. Yeah, so that's just Q3 minus Q1. And then the upper and lower fences, I'm pretty sure we can find the website that'll find that stuff for us too. But your upper fence and lower fence. Come on, come on, come on. You know, this is all in your notes. I'm pretty sure you got it in the notes somewhere. But upper fence is Q3 minus 1.5 times the IQR. And then your lower fence. How much is that? Is Q1 minus, so Q3 plus 1.5 times IQR, Q1 minus 1.5 times IQR. So this was 41 plus 1.5 times 4.15, and it was 36.85. Let me see. Yep. 36.85 minus 1.5 times 4.15.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just
Mhm.
wanted to know, where does the 1.5 come from?
Oh, that's part of the formula, man. You don't want to know.
Oh.
That's just part of the formula.
Okay.
Yep, yep, yep. So just know that that has to be 1.5. Like that's not going to change.
Gotcha.
So that's plus 41. So we're looking at 47.225. And then minus 36.85. So that's going to be 30.625. Lower fix 30 point. Come on, man. 30.625. Yep, that's all they wanted there. And then the other one was 47.25. Yep. How long is this thing? All right. So hold on. Come on, share. All right, so what I'm gonna do is close out that easycalculation.com thing. Is making my stuff move too slow. Just because the advertisements and stuff. Guess that's how they make their money. All right, so you see you know, everything's up there. So now it's asking us, are there any outliers? So if there's anything greater than the upper fence or less than the lower fence, it's considered an outlier. So we go back to our data set. Remember, our lower fence is 30.625. So I don't see anything less than 30.625.
So
But then-
basically the lowest, it would be the lowest number in that category.
Well,
for-
no, well, our lowest number is 32.6. So if anything in your data set is lower than the 30.625, this lower fence, then that's considered an outlier.
Right.
So now if it's lower than 30.625 or greater than 47.225, then it's an outlier. So we do have an outlier. It's this 48.8 because it's greater than 47.225. See what I mean?
Yes.
Okay, so those are our fences. Everything in between those two numbers are good to go. Anything on the outside of those two numbers, you know, they would be considered outliers.
Right.
So outliers 48.8. And that's it. But most of your work could have been done by, you know, easycalculation.com.
And
Yep.
have been solved in a minute or two.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it okay if we could go over more, if you didn't mind?
Yeah, what you got?
Okay. The next one was the next one was, hold on, I'm looking for it. Where is it? It was question 9.
9, okay. 30, standard deviation, 25, Pinker rule about 7. 68% of the organs. Okay, so this one, you have to do the empirical rule. So the empirical rule says that you got your mean in the middle. For us, it's 350. And going out 1 standard deviation. So you add a standard deviation, subtract the standard deviation. 68% of your data. Let me do it like this. %68 of your data. And then if you go out 2 standard deviations, it's 95% of your data. And then if you go out 3 standard deviations, 99.7% of your data. And so our standard deviation in this case is 25. So if I were to add 25 in each case and subtract 25 to the left, that's what we're looking at getting. So adding 25 3 times, we have 375, 400, 425. Then for the left side, we're going to subtract the standard deviation 3 times. So this is 325, 300, 275. So once again, our mean was 350. That goes in the middle. Standard deviation was 25. So before we go any further, are you okay with what I've done? So these right here are, that's the rules. You know, those percentages don't change. These numbers change according to whatever your mean and your standard deviations are.
Okay. And the 350,
Mhm.
that doesn't change either, or
Yeah. It changed according to what they give you. They gave us 350 and they gave us 25. So they gave our mean to be 350. So whatever your mean is goes in the middle. And then whatever your standard deviations are, that's what you add 3 times and then subtract 3 times.
okay.
But this was given. And that's going to change according to whatever your problem is. This right here, these percentages never change. The percentages that go in here, these percentages never change, you know. That's what makes up these percentages. So
Okay, and then you just had to add. I just want to be sure and everything. You had to add which ones did you have to add 3
okay,
times?
so you start with 350 because that's what they gave you, and then you add 25 to the 350. That's how
Oh.
you get 375. Add 25 again, that's how you get 400. Add 25 again, that's how you get 425.
Okay, got it. Okay, I understand now.
And then to the left, you subtract 25 from 350. That's how you get 325. Subtract 25 again, you get 300. Subtract 25 one more time, you get 275.
Okay.
All right. So before we go to answer the questions, make sure you're good on the chart.
Yeah, I wrote all of it down.
Okay. All right. So let's go back to the chart. And not the chart, but the questions. So it says about 68% of organs will be between what weights? So that was 1 standard deviation. So you're talking about 350 was in the middle, and that's 325 and 375. Excuse me. All right. So that's okay.
Yeah.
So now it says what percentage of organs weigh between 275 and 425? Okay, so let's go back to the notes because I didn't put all those percentages in. I didn't know you needed. So this is 34, because it's 50% to the right of 350, 50% to the left of 350. So it's going to mirror each other. So that's 34%. This is 13.5, 2.35. This is 0.15. And then the same thing happens over here, 13.5, 2.35, 0.15. So they ask us, what percentage is between 275 and 425? So 275 is here, 425 is here. Well, that's the empirical rule. We already know between those two is going to be 99.7%.
Right.
So, but the reason why I put those other percentages in there, all of those add up to, all of this add up to 100%. But let's say if they ask what's between 300 and 325, 300, 325 right here, you should have been able to say 13.5. Or let's say if they say what is between 325, well, let's say this 350 and 300, then you would add these two together. You see what I mean? Like if you want to know what's between those two numbers, you add up whatever percentages
Okay.
are between those numbers. So let's go back to this, 99.7. The next one says, what percentage of organs weigh less than 275 or more than 425? So less than 275 is this way, more than 425 is this way. So that means we're going to add the 2.15s together because that's the only thing that's to the right and to the left of those two numbers. All right.
All right.
So that should be 0.3%. And then what percentage of organs weighs between 275 and 400? So we got 275, 400. So we're talking about this, and this.
So you have to add all of those together.
Yep. So let me see, we got 68 plus 13.5 plus 13.5 plus 2.35. So that's 97.35. Let's make sure that's what they want. 7.35. Yep, that's all they want. So I added those, what, 5 percentages together. All right. All right, so that makes sense.
Yes. It does. And it would be 63.5 once you added them all up. Or wait,
We say added them all up. Which one?
all the ones between 275 and 400.
No, that is, you're talking about 2.35, 13.5, 34, 34, 13.5. That was 97.35.
I think I might have put something wrong.
So you have 2.35,
Two,
13.5,
13.
34 twice, and then 13.5 again.
Yep, got it.
Okay, cool.
Okay, got that. And that would be it for the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I got it down packed now.
Okay.
And the next problem that I had a problem with was did I say 13? It was 13, not 13. Or did we go over it? No, we went over that one. I'm sorry.
Okay, I was about to look, you know.
It was okay. 14. I had got I didn't know how to get the IQR for that one exactly.
Okay, so remember let me see to make sure there's not more to it than that. All right, so standard deviation and a quarter range. So the IQR. So now remember we did that in that first problem we did. So your IQR is always going to be Q3 minus Q1. So once you find your quartiles, your IQR is Q3 minus Q1.
And I can just go into easy calculator and find it.
Mm-hmm.
Calculate
Yep.
IQR. Okay, so subtract Q-tile 3 from Q-tile 1. And then after that, once I do it and round it to the correct number, I can just, that would be the IQR.
Mm-hmm.
Got you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got the rest of it correct on there, like the standard deviation I got correct, but
Yeah.
okay. Got it. And the next one that I had a problem with was 15. Well, no, I didn't. I didn't have a problem with 15. I think I had a problem with trying to find the correct shape of the distribution.
Okay. Okay, so let's see what's going on here. Identify the distribution. You push left, the tail is to the right. So this should be, yeah. Okay, so I don't know which one you had. So this is what I have right here. This was skewed right.
Right. So that's skewed.
So yeah, so I'll show you why just to make sure we're clear. So the bulk of your data, when you're talking about skewed right, the bulk of your data is going to be to the left. Your tail, the tail is to the right. So when you look at that, you know, the mean is over here and all the stuff like that. So the bulk of your data, you know, that when you talk about the box plot in reference to, you know, the distribution shapes that we dealt with before, that square, that rectangle will be in the bulk, will represent the bulk of your data. And so notice that was over here to the left. So it means the tail of your data would have been to the right. And so wherever your tail is, that's where it's skewed to. So skewed left means that the tail of the data is to the left.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, okay, I got that then.
Okay.
I understand it now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the next one that I got wrong, it was 4.
All right, let's see. Data represent weights and grams, determine the shape of the distribution by the candies, which measures central tendency. All right, let's see if we can look at this without going to an actual, you know, website or something. So, 0.90, 0.81. All right, so you will have to put these in like categories. Notice down bottom, it goes from 0.79, 0.85, 0.91. So you want to put these in order Let's see if it's go 0.79, 0.80. So let's do this. Okay, it's not making it anymore. Trying to see what that middle number is going to be. So that's 6 away. So 6. Okay. So now these, let me take a picture. So we can go to the notes. Because these are giving you categories. They're just not given to you specifically. So when you look at how they drawing this thing, they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And they got 0.79 right here, 0.85 here, 0.91. Now, you want to know what this middle tick mark is. And then this one right here, because it's helping you set up your categories as to what numbers fit. Because they have, a shape that's based on this shape that, what number this is and what number this is. Then they have another one based on this shape and this number and this number.
Right.
Then another one based on this number, this number, this number, you know what I mean? So like, that's how your categories are being shaped. And then up over here, it says, this is 0, then this is 1, this will represent 2. In other words, 2 numbers fit in this category between these 2 numbers, you know what I mean? And then here, if this is 3, then 3 numbers are in between these 2 numbers. But if you don't know what both of these numbers are, then you don't know, what numbers fit in between them. So they give you 1. So you say, okay, well, how do I figure out what this number is? Well, between 0.79 and 0.85 should be 0.06.
0.06.
Right. If you do 0.85 minus 0.79.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 0.85 minus 0.79, you get 0.06. So that means to get here, it has to be 0.03. In other words, this middle number right here is going to be 0.82, because I'm going to add 0.03 to get 0.82, then add 0.03 again to get 0.85. You see what I mean?
Yes.
And then that means this number, once again, that adding 0.03, that's going to be 0.088. So I add 0.03 to 0.85 to get 0.88, then 0.03 to 0.88 to get 0.91, then 0.03 one more time to give me 0.94.
0.94.
All right, so does that make sense? Because we need to figure out what that middle tick mark was so we can categorize our numbers.
Yes, it does.
Okay, so now when we go back to our chart, we can do a tally. Let me just take a picture of this. So I don't have to keep flipping back. All right. So now I'm going to do a tally for each one of my numbers that fit into this category, this category, this category, this category, and this category. You know what I mean? So I'm going to go purple. My first data value is 0.90. Well, 0.90 is in between 0.88 and 0.91. You see what I mean? And then 0.86 is my next number. That's in between these 2 numbers, 0.85 and 0.88.
Yeah. Okay.
Then 0.83 would be in between these 2 numbers. 0.92 is in between 0.91 and 0.94. 0.89 would be in this category. 0.87 would be here. 0.86 would be here. I got another 0.87. 0.81 would actually be over here. 0.83, and that's it.
Okay.
So now when I draw my tick marks. So not tick marks, but my bars. It will go right here for 1, 2. Now I need 4 up here somewhere. So this one will go up 4. This will line up with 2, and then this one would be 1. All right, so now before I go back to the homework, did that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay. So now we go back. Need a minute for that. Anyway, I don't need it. So the one that fits that should be B. You have the 4 in the middle, and 2 on the sides, and then 1 on the sides of that. And so that's what that is. And we will say this one is symmetric because it's, you
You said
know,
it-
it reflects about the middle. Now, if it was pushed to the left or to the right, that's when we look at it being skewed left versus skewed right. So the mean weight, you know, you would just take all those, you know how to find the mean, you know, take all the data values and find the average. So
just use the mean calculator.
I'm just throwing anything in there right now. See how close I am. I was close, 86.4. And then you find a median. So then you would just go about doing, you know,
You're right.
easycalculation.com. Yeah. All right. What else we got?
The next problem was it was question 16.
16. Now this is the same thing as those quartiles. So let's go to the notes, make sure. So now your 5-number summary. Number 1 is Q1, 2. Oh, no. Sorry. Number 2 is Q1. This is your minimum value, smallest value. Q2 is number 2 is Q1. Q2 is number 3. Number 4, I put a 2 there. Give me a 3 there. I said it, but wrote wrong. Number 4 is Q3, and then number 5 is your max. So for your minimum and maximum, it don't take any calculation for that because you look at the list, whatever your minimum value is and your maximum value is, that'll be 1 and 5. But then you go to your easycalculation.com thing, and that'll be Q1, Q2, and Q3.
Okay. And it's the same. And I would still have to put them in. When I'm putting them into the calculator, they would have to be in order. Just
Not if you put it now. When you do it by hand, you have to put them in order. But when you do it by easycalculation.com, you just need to separate them by commas, no spaces. It will put it in order for you.
okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay, well that helps more. Okay, so I got that done. Let me write easy calculator next to it too. Now the next one that I had a problem with was 24.
All right. Hold on 1 second. All right, so it's a number, he's at 24. All right. Correlation coefficient 830. All right, so they gave you in this one, they give you the correlation coefficient and the least squares regression line for this information. So now R squared is your correlation coefficient squared. So you take that 830, I mean, not 8, yeah, 830.830 and
0.8.
square it.
Okay.
And that's 68.89. Now they said write it in percentage. That's going to be 68.9%. So now when you square it, it's just 0.6889, but you have to round it, you know, well, first of all, convert to a percentage by moving the 2 decimal places to the right. That's how we got 68.9. And they only wanted 1 decimal place. So,
Right.
all right. That makes sense. Did you want to see me write it out or?
No.
Okay.
Now that I know, I just had to square it together.
Yep.
And after that round, I got it.
Okay, so interpret the coefficient of determination, approximately 68.9% of the variation. Let me see, variation in the height is explained by, no, variation in the heads. Height, I'm trying to remember, is the variation in X or the variation in Y? I got it, yeah. So whatever your Y is, so it says that the 68% of the variation in your Y, which is your head circumference in this case, is explained by the least squares regression. So whatever your Y category is what goes down there.
All right, got that. And the next one was 20.
All right, explanatory variable is commute time. Let's see, okay. Our explanatory variable is commute time, response variable will be score. Commute time. Yeah. So your explanatory variable, in this case, we're looking at the commute time and it affects your well-being score. So, you know, if you have a certain amount of commute time, you know, driving time, that affects your well-being. So that explains it. You know what I mean? So the explanatory variable is the commute time and the response variable, your well-being is responding to how much commute time you have. So, and that's because your well-being score is affected by your commute time. All right, so does that make sense, Pray?
Yes.
Okay, so scatter diagram. So now if you want to be as accurate, let's see if they have any that's even close. So we got 0, 1, 10, 69, 70 in minutes. In minutes. Oh, that's 69.3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So why isn't that? So it would have to be this one. Yeah. So if you look at what we have here, like you could take those data values and plug them into another app that will do scatter plots for you. But really all you have to do is look at the first one. Normally, they're not even close. And so you can look at one or even at the most 2 data points and say, okay, this has nothing to do with what's going on in this problem. So if you look at the first one, we're looking at 3 commute minutes. So when you look down here, well, we know it could not be B because it has your commute time going from 0 to 70, but our commute time goes from 0 to 150, 105, I mean. And then it has your well-being score going from 0 to 110, in which that doesn't fit our well-being score, range. So we know it couldn't be B. So it only could be A, C, or D. So now looking at A, we have 3 minutes and it goes all the way to 69.3. So that means it should be close to 70. But the other two has 3 minutes, nowhere near 70. 70 is up here.
Right.
You see what I mean?
Yes.
So that's why this was the only one that could work, because 3 is close to 70. It's the closest to 70 in reference to the other ones. So
Okay.
now with this one, you have to plug it into, that's where you go easycalculation.com and type in these data values. You would do correlation coefficient, easycalculation.com, and type in these data values. This would be your X category. Commute time would be your X category. Well-being would be your range category.
And you said easy calculator not coefficient.
Yeah, hold on, let me get to a website. All right, so just like we did before, go to Google. Do it this time, we're trying to find a correlation coefficient. Correlation coefficient, easy calculator, or easy calculation, either one. But it's right there. And there you go. You can add the columns as you need them. However many columns you need. So this would be 3. This would be at 69.3. And then you just put them in according to the chart that you have.
Right.
And then
Okay.
that'll give you. Yeah, that'll give it to you.
All right. Got you.
Let's see if there's anything else in there. I think that was, oh, I think there's a D. Okay, does a linear relation exist between the commute time? Yes, because when it's close to 1, that means a linear is a linear. Relation.
I don't think the screen changed for me.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, so there we go. So does a linear relation exist between the commute time and the well-being index score? And the answer is yes, because it's close to -1. If it's close to 1 or -1, then yes. So yes, there appears to be a negative linear association because R is negative and it's less than the opposite critical value. Oh, yeah. Well, this is real close to 1, so we do it. If it was not as close to 1 or -1, then you would have a test to do, but you're probably gonna be all right because most of these are close to 1 like this.
Okay.
Yeah, but if it wasn't close to 1, then you would have a test that you might want to do to ensure. But for the most part, if it's close to 1 or -1, there's a linear relation. If it's close to 0, then there is not a linear relation. So now if it's in between, if it's like 6.6 or 0.5, then you will have to do a little testing or whatever. But I think this is going to be pretty much, definite with the ones that you guys get.
Okay. All right, I got that. And the next one was where is it? I am looking for it right now.
Mhm.
It was 21.
All right. So this one, same type of deal, but this time you're looking for your least squares regression line. So there go they give you what X is, they give you what Y is. So this time, when you go to Google, you would type in regression line, easy calculation. And that's right here. And you'll do the same thing.
Let me see.
And you'll type in your X values and your Y values.
Question. Okay. And could you go back to the problem, please?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it didn't change for me.
No, I'm going to do it now.
Oh. And so when you put the numbers into the regression line calculator,
Mm-hmm.
the equation for the X and for the Y and the X will pop up.
Yep. So let me see. I'm just going to put some numbers in here. Just making up some stuff. I'll turn back to it in a second. All right, come on, come on.
You didn't change the screen.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Okay.
That's why I was saying, come on, come on. Because like I said, these ads, it makes my computer slow. All right, so that's how it is right there. So I just made those values up. But you see how it gives you the actual equation right here.
Mhm. Oh, okay. Yep.
So
Gotcha.
the slope, the slope is the number that's in front of X. Y-intercept is that other number, but then it put it in the equation form itself.
No.
Yep, yep, yep.
Mhm. Was there a part B to the question?
Let's see. All right. All right, interpret the slope and y-intercept if appropriate. The slope indicates the mean miles per gallon. Slope indicates the mean miles per gallon, and increase indicates the mean weight. The mean ratio between, all right, let me read and see what they're talking about here. The mean miles per gallon, the mean miles per gallon. No, it should be the mean weight, and as the weight increases, slope indicates a ratio between the mean weight. It's gotta be mean change. Ah, that's the word I was looking for. Ah, okay, that's what I was looking for. I missed it when I read B. So slope indicates the mean change in miles per gallon for an increase of 1. So yeah, it's the change. It's the rate of change. So that's what your slope is. And I missed the word. That's why I kept saying mean. But yeah, okay. So you see what the answer should look like, right? And that key word for your slope is the change. The change. All right. So it's the change in the rate. All right. So the next one, best interpretation of the y-intercept. No, it is not appropriate to interpret the y-intercept because it does not make sense to talk about the car that weighs 0 pounds. So now your y-intercept is always when X is 0. So X represents pounds. And so that's why E should be the answer. It is not appropriate to interpret the y-intercept because it does not make sense to talk about a car that weighs 0 pounds, right?
Right.
So now if it was something like somebody jump out the sky, you know what I mean? And X was the height off the ground. Well, it would make sense, for X to be 0 because 0 means no height. That means you hit the ground. You know what I mean? So it will be times where it does make sense for X to be 0. It's just that it does not make sense in this case. But your Y intercept, like I said, is always interpreted when your X is equal to 0. And then you have to go back and see what is X. And X was pounds in this case. So predict the miles per gallon be above average. Okay, car B. Okay. So what you would do is you would take the weight of B. It says car B. That's 2980. And you will put it in your calculator. I mean, not calculator, in your equation.
And so when you mean put in the equation,
This
how?
one right here for X. So we got negative 0.00779 times 2980.
Oh, okay.
And then plus 45.6. So that's what they want you to do, predict it. If you had to, because that's what a regression line is for, predictions based on your observations. So you have these observations here, came up with this regression line. Now this regression line will let you predict a possible observation for a car that weighs however many pounds. So in this case, they want us to take the pounds of car B and plug it into the equation and see what type of prediction you would get. So they want to round to 2 decimal places. So I plugged into the equation, got 22.39. All right. Now the residual is going to be what you got as an observation, which is 20.5. You notice what we got here? Minus what we got from the predicted value. So it's 20.5. So I got negative 1 point, how many decimal places? 2, 1.89. So it's always your observed value minus the predicted value. And because it's negative, that means it is below average. If it was positive, that means it would be above average.
Gotcha. Okay.
What's this? It says draw the least squares regression line. So it has to be either A or D, because you look at the markings on bottom, it says 2400 to 4100. That's what the X is. So that's why B and C wouldn't work if you look at the numbers at the bottom. So we need our miles per gallon. It has to be A or D. And let's see. They look very similar. The last one, which is 4010, is that 14? That looks similar as well. One, two, three, four, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we have 1, 2. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How come I'm seeing multiple values? Okay, so these black dots shouldn't be up here, I'm assuming. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm thinking it's A. Yep. It's gotta be D then. Yep. So, if you want, you can go put that in the scatter plot. But, once again, it's about looking at the graphs and see which one match up according to the information that you have.
Right.
So, so that's it for that one.
Okay. That was all of them.
Okay. Finally, yay! No, I'm just playing.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No,
All
I'm
right,
just messing with
trying
you.
to make. I I gotta pass this class. Then I still have I still have to take the next test. So
Mhm.
I
But
plan
like
on
I said though, I think part of your the part of where you went wrong is that you were doing a lot of stuff by hand.
my hand.
And yeah, and looking for the
I keep forgetting
technology
that
in the
technology
class.
key.
Yeah. It'll
So
make everything a lot simpler for you.
okay. Okay. So I'll probably most likely I'll try to take it
Mhm.
either tomorrow or Wednesday.
Okay, not a problem. Now, did you want me to post this so you can go back and review it, or you good with this?
Yeah. Yes, please. If you
Okay,
didn't.
okay, not a problem.
Okay.
All
And
right, man. Hmm?
thank you so much too.
Yeah, not a problem, sir. Glad I can help. And hope this help you to be able to knock out that test, set you up for an A, man, so we can roll on to the next thing.
All right.
All right, man. You have a good one.
You too. And thank you again.
Yeah, not a problem. Not a problem. All right.